Welcome to Nitpicking Nerds. Today, we got some commanders people have been overlooking.
Yeah, we're talking about some underplayed commanders that you can do some really cool things with.
I'm your host, Joe Cherries.
I'm your host, Beezy, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds. Excited to announce, after telling you that we have daily content, excited to announce officially memberships are live for the channel, which means you can hit the join button right on our channel homepage, and that'll take you to a link where you can support the YouTube channel itself, receive cool emojis, badges, and other perks. And then when we do, and we will start live streaming on YouTube, you can participate in that. And all the time, you get access to exclusive community content.
Yes, so that's very exciting. All of that. TCG Player is the place where you can go to buy cards you were going to buy anyway. And if you use our link, you'll be supporting the channel. Thank you for that.
There's just so many ways to support us.
Yes. So
Pick your favorite.
So let's hop right into this video. We're going to talk about commanders that we just looked at EDH Rec and we said, dang, there's only X of these decks. That is not a lot for that awesome commander.
Yes, they're all at 100 or fewer decks total. Most of them have been out for a while, and we're just going to tell you, if you're looking for some kind of new commander spice, or you're just one of those hipsters who likes to play something that's an underdog, I think these are all actually pretty good cards.
Yes. So let's start with the first one. It's Lena, Selfless Champion. 4 white for a 3/3 human knight. When she enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token for each non-token creature you control. Sacrifice Lena. Creatures you control with power less than Lena's power gain indestructible until end of turn. From all the places that EDH Rec pulls stats from, there's only 22 of these decks around. That's so low. So let's start with a little first ability. You want to just put a bunch of creatures out. All right. So you play like 1 drops, 2 drops, 3 drops. Then you play her, and all of a sudden you double the number of creatures you had.
Yeah, it doubles the number of creatures you have as long as you don't focus on playing tokens. You play like your Thraben Inspectors, your Mentor the Meeks, all of these little dorks, and there's plenty of ways to pump them up. But Lena just says, double the number of creatures you have in play, and built in has a way to protect them from board wipes, so you can go proactive with board wipes or reactive with Lena's ability, and all you got to do is buff up Lena once with some spell or maybe some anthem effect or just like an equipment, and all of a sudden she can protect your whole team easy, even if you go bigger.
Yeah, I mean, she's even going to protect your whole team because you're going to play mostly white weenies in this deck anyway.
Yeah.
So she's already protecting things. White is really good with stuff like equipments, like you play your Stoneforge Mystic, your Steel Shaper's Gifts, you go get an equipment, you throw it on her. She wears it so well because the power buff actively helps not only for her attacking, but for her protecting your team.
Yeah, I just feel like there's situations where this card comes down and your opponents are just screwed. They're done. Like, you can't wipe your board, and if they try to, Lena goes away, and then they get wrecked by your board. There's nothing to do. They have to have some like really specific answer.
Yeah, I think she's just very strong. The Selfless Spirit variants are all very good, and she is a variant of that kind of card. Plus, she gives you a bunch of tokens that she is going to protect because that's what she does.
And on top of everything else, it enters the battlefield and makes the tokens. You can just ephemerate this and just start doubling every time for the doubling your non-token creatures. So like if you have 5. Every time you flicker this, you just get 5 more tokens.
Yeah, I mean, I think they intentionally avoided letting it make equal to tokens because
that's goofy.
That would have been a ton of creatures for like no investment. But I still think this card is extremely underutilized, especially as a commander.
Yeah, I think the problem is it was from a core set, and I forget which M20, maybe M21. It was very like kind of boring. Maybe M19. I don't even the fact that I can't tell you shows how boring whatever core set that was actually was. But this card was like a hidden gem in that core set that I think more people could be playing.
Yeah, definitely. I try it out as your commander because I just it's confusing that this is only 22. This is a card when I look at it, I'm just like, that's a solid card. There's got to be a lot of cool things, a lot of cool builds you can do with that. People aren't doing it.
So there's a lot of unexplored territory if you want to go check it out. So the next one on here, it has been out for much less than Lena, but it's Deekah Fractal Theorist, but she's only in 25 decks. That's pretty low, especially when you compare it to the other commanders from the precon. So let's read Deekah. 4 and a blue for a 3/3 legendary human wizard. Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, create a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token. Put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is that spell's mana value. Then you can pay 3 and a blue. Target creature token can't be blocked this turn. This is an army in a can. You could go the creatureless route and just protect Deekah because she gives you the win con. Just a bunch of fractals forever.
Yeah, and then makes them unblockable, correct?
Yeah, she can make them unblockable if you have a huge one.
That's exactly what I thought. So you can just make a million of these things. Sometimes you can cast a big X spell and you'll get a big, huge one, and then you can just make that one unblockable and just punch with it. ultimately you can go wide and use all of these to your advantage because you're gonna have so many of these things. If every ponder, even if ponder's a 1/1, you cast some other spells. There's just so many of these things stacking up so easily.
Well, let's start going Treasure Cruise Dig Through Time and make 8/8s with it, or a 9/9 with some other crazy spell that you only spend 1 mana on. There's plenty of spells like that you can get a reduction. You can start casting spells for free, and you'll still get the mana value. Fractals, they're good for chump blocking. They're good for attacking. Your free counter spells, I'll force double your thing, protect my Deekah, give 5/5.
Yeah, Commandeer, all of those things are really, really good with Deekah. Then if you cast some other spell that makes some weird token like Urabrask the Sea God, you can make that giant thing unblockable too.
Yeah, she works with any creature token. I think Deekah, pretty strong variant of like the Talrans. I think, like the Metallurgic Summonings type is pretty much on par with 2/2 flyers. You're still going to run them over.
Yeah. Moving on, the next one is Razaketh the Foulblooded. There's only 77 Razaketh decks.
Somehow.
5 black for a demon 8/8. It has flying and trample. Pay 2 life, sacrifice another creature, search your library for a card, and put that card into your hand. Then shuffle your library. I'm sorry, what was that? That's a tutor by sacrificing a creature. I've never seen a card closer to if you play it and it resolves, you're going to win.
Yeah, maybe this could be, if you're looking for some kind of solid commander for like this 8 or 9, maybe not 9 as much, but like 7-8 power mono black deck, Razaketh's going to mess people up, and you can pretty much win however you want. When you search for 4 cards, they can kind of be anything as long as they assemble some kind of victory condition. Or if you just want to play like some kind of Jundam out deck, just use it for value.
Yeah, this guy is so awesome. You play him and you sack all your junk and you just get the best cards. This should always translate to a win. That's how good this card is. If you have 3 creatures on the board, it'd be shocking if you can't win with 3 tutors.
Right. I'm wondering if part of the reason it's so low on decks is that it leads to repetitive gameplay, but that can't be the case with so many other cards. Like I think about cards like Atraxa and some of those super linear stacks commanders.
Well, think about Chulane. Chulane is the most linear, do the same thing every single time, and he's got thousands of decks.
Right, so I'm just wondering what's keeping Razaketh so low. He's like a big splashy demon, requires some building around. I think this card's sweet. I mean, it's really good though.
And Mono Black's popular. Like of the monocolored decks, Mono Black's one of the more popular ones.
We actually just ran a poll on our community tab and Mono Black won.
Yeah, I would have guessed so because if you see any monocolor, it's black the most.
Right, definitely. I mean, Kabal offers big contributor, all the swamp doublers. Yeah. Very tempting cards for people. What's next?
Next we have Urabrask the Hidden.
He's 3 red for a 4/4 legendary Praetor. Creatures you control have haste, and creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. So that includes Urabrask. This is a 4/4 with haste that also Thalias them and says your creatures enter tapped, which means they can't block you when you go to play a creature next turn and then smash them.
Yes, so there's a lot of good things to work with here. The haste means that you can play creatures with attract triggers much better. Atali loves this deck.
Oh, yeah.
Such a great curve going 5 into 6. And then, you want a 7? How about Balefire Dragon? That card wants haste too. This Urabrask really works with the attacks, deal damage triggers, and anything that wants to get in right away.
I think you could assemble a really cool, like, just straight up beat down, kind of like the old big red decks. You can build like a big red mid-range, but with an aggressive slant creature deck. And it's only in 76 decks, and Urabrask has been around for like a decade.
I think he's one of the coolest Praetors. He's not even like a bad guy. He's actively helping the Mirrans out.
Yeah, there was some kind of conspiracy theory that he somehow is like the soul or embodiment of, what was his name? Slowbad, the dead planeswalker. I don't really care, but it's cool either way. I don't like to indulge the conspiracies too much. When it's true, then it'll be sweet.
I mean, it's still pretty sweet. It's a cool conspiracy theory. What's next? What is after Urabrask?
Right. It's another creature from a legendary cycle. This one is green. It's God Eternal Rhonas, and he's in 57 decks.
3 green for a zombie god 5/5. It has Death Touch. When God Eternal Rhonas enters the battlefield, double the power of each other creature you control until end of turn. Those creatures gain vigilance until end of turn. Then it has the God text where if it dies or would be exiled, you can just put a 3 from the top. For starters, this only ever costs 5 mana because you're always just, if it dies, gets exiled, you put a 3rd from the top. There's obviously some punishment sometimes if someone can make you shuffle your deck, but that doesn't happen a crazy amount.
No, and green has enough creature tutors that I wouldn't even be worried about that anyway. You got Green Sun Zenith, the finale of Devastation, the Court of Callings of the World, your birthing pods even. God Eternal Rhonas doubles the power you have in play. If you're a powers matter deck, you got high power, double it, and now you can take advantage of all the things that say draw cards equal to the highest power, deal damage equal to the highest power. Just so many different things.
There's cards, if you have like a 10 mana turn, you could play this and then play Overwhelming Stampede. If not everyone's dead from that, I don't know what else you need to do.
It's game over. It's kind of like an overrun, and you even get Vigilance if you can't finish the job.
Yeah, so you want to have trample creatures in this deck. I think that's super important because he unfortunately does not give trample. I think that's his one weakness. Right. I think if he gave trample, he'd be played probably a lot more, but I don't think that Vigilance is a downside. I think it's great for protecting you. Just get in with everything you have, and then whatever doesn't die, which is going to be most of your stuff, you're just going to leave back.
People were impressed with Kamal, and he's an 8 mana overrun, but this is a 5 mana, no commander tax with a little hoops to jump through, double your power until end of turn. It just over and over just keeps happening, and you can't kill it. And I think there's a lot of like big green dummy commanders, but this one I feel like has so much play to it. This thing goes other places, and it won't cost you 1,000,000 mana after it dies once.
Yeah, a lot of the other green commanders, you get board wiped once or twice, all of a sudden it costs 11, 12, 13 mana.
Like Grothama.
He's just always going to cost 5 mana, which is lucky because I don't want to be casting this for 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah, exactly. It just no commander tax is such a big thing. It's such a draw to this deck. And it's this guy in Urabrask, such cool characters to be building around. Still, almost less than 100 decks.
I mean, Zombie God.
Zombie God, green zombie.
Zombie God. It doesn't.
This is the only mono green zombie, right? Pretty much.
Probably one of the very few.
Yeah, there's probably plant zombies, I think, in mono green, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about. Next, we have another fairly recent card. It's Shale, Dean of Radiance / Ambrose, Dean of Shadow. There are only 32 decks with this commander. Shale is 1 and a white for a 1/1 legendary bird cleric with flying and vigilance, and it taps to put a +1/+1 counter on each creature that entered the battlefield under your control this turn. The other side is Ambrose, Dean of Shadow. He's 2 black for a 4/4 legendary human warlock. Taps to put a +1/+1 counter on another target creature, then he deals 2 damage to it, and a static ability of when a creature you control with a counter on it dies, you draw a card. This is a nifty 2-sided commander that can get around tax a little bit if you play Ambrose first, and then it dies. Shale only costs 4 the next time you want to cast it, and it's like Orzhov +1/+1 counters. I think there's enough support to make that work.
There's plenty of it. I think the main thing is the left side, the white side is not very good. I don't think you ever play that side, but Ambrose, Dean of Shadows, I think is incredibly good. It keeps putting counters on your guys whenever you want it to. It also kills any creature with only 1 toughness on the opponent's side of the field. That's just a free roll. And the fact that you draw every time one of your creatures with counters dies means you're going to be drawing all the time. We're going to make it so our creatures always have counters with cards like Cathar's Crusade.
And I think what you want to do with this deck, whether you're using Shale or Ambrose, is untap these dudes a ton. I'm kind of thinking about something with Thornbite Staff, but Ambrose kills a creature, and then you'll draw a card and he'll untap. So there's probably something you can put together there where you're just churning out value after value after value. I'm surprised Midnight Reaper variant in the command zone doesn't see more play.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds so strong. You're in white, which has a ton of counter support. Black, not the most, but there's some cool cards like Unspeakable Symbol.
Plenty of artifacts.
And plenty of artifacts. The Unspeakable Symbol is like...
Oh, I love that card.
It's such a cool card. You don't see it much because there's not that many black counters decks, but the card is awesome.
Yeah, the Marchesa Black Rose players will tell you all about all the mono black counters cards you can play.
Yeah, I mean, Unspeakable Symbol looks like it was made for Queen Marchesa deck, but one came out
decades apart.
Yeah, one came out like decades before the other, and it's not the order you think.
It's not in the order you think. So I'd recommend Shale Ambrose. Give them a try. Maybe the fact that they're the 15th most exciting commander from Strixhaven is dulling it down, but it doesn't mean you can't do cool things with the deck. If you're looking for some kind of under the radar synergistic deck to go do some cool things with, give it a try.
Yes.
What is next?
Yeah, next we have a partner combination. We avoided these mostly, but this one stuck out as really cool. We have Falthis and Jeska. Falthis is 2 and a black for a Nightmare Cat 2/2. Commanders you control have Menace and Death Touch. Partner. Jeska is 2 and a red for a legendary Planeswalker Jeska. Jeska, thrice reborn, enters the battlefield with a loyalty counter on it for each time you've cast a commander from the command zone this game. 0. Choose target creature until end of turn. If that creature will deal combat damage to one of your opponents, it deals triple that damage to that player instead. -X, Jeska, thrice reborn, deals X damage to up to 3 targets. The whole idea here is have Falthis out, then play Jeska so it has an extra counter. Now you -1, kill the best 3 creatures. Next turn, -1, kill the best 3 creatures, because Jeska has Death Touch, because Falthis obviously gives your Planeswalker Death Touch.
And she also has Menace, if that matters to you. She definitely has Menace. This is like a board control deck. You're going to have Falthis out. It's not too hard to replay it. And then Jeska every time is just going to be the most annoying card ever. Pew, pew, pew. Ping your best thing. It's like Soul Shatter every single turn while you set up. And the thing about this is a self-contained little combo, which is why Falthis is in the command zone, not the deck. Because now you can play whatever you want. What do you want to do? You want to play enchantments? You want to play group slug? You want to play reanimator? You can do whatever.
Yeah, you can literally play any type of deck around this. The whole idea is that it's just this little 2-card combo, and you can make a deck however you want. You can make a sacrifice deck. You can make whatever red-black thing you can dream of. This could be your commander of it.
And Jeska is a really, really good card, so if you can ever make infinite red mana, which there are easy ways to, even in a budget, Jeska just wins by herself.
She does, yeah. I mean, thermopod stuff. There's some thermopod craziness that you can.
Yeah, I mean, I was even thinking like Reiterate, Mana Geyser, that type of thing. Jeska's Will. As soon as you can make infinite mana, Jeska casts herself minus all of her loyalty, shoot the other 3 opponents. Then she's back in your command zone, but you have infinite mana. Recast her, do it again.
Yeah, Jeska is just a payoff for infinite mana every time from your command zone. That doesn't even have to have infinite. You can build it however you want. This can be as casual or probably as spiky as you want to make it.
Yeah, I like the complete openness of this, despite already choosing 2 very specific commanders. The only thing you're restricted to is black-red.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't put white cards in here.
Maybe you want to go Death Touch Tribal. Maybe Zagreus makes an appearance, Pestilent Spirit her back from our other video.
Yeah, that would be a cool way to go with it, but just pick Zagreus in that case. That's probably what I would do. All right, moving on to the next one. We have Niv-Mizzet Dracogenius.
Or as I like to call him, Niv-Mizzet Dracogenius. 2 blue, red for a legendary dragon wizard. He's a 5/5. He's got flying. Whenever he deals damage to a player, you may draw a card, and you can pay blue and red. Niv-Mizzet deals 1 damage to any target. I think this Niv-Mizzet is the clunkiest, and that's why it's in 64 decks. It's the least cool Niv-Mizzet. But I think you gain a lot from not pressuring your opponents 100% of the time to the point that Niv-Mizzet can't be on the field, because if he is, I'm going to go infinite, and if he isn't, I'm not playing my commander. That feels like a really dumb choice to me. So if I wanted to play Niv-Mizzet, definitely going to play Niv-Mizzet Dracogenius, and I would rather play that over the 5-color Brew.
This card is epically cool and the most fair of the Niv-Mizzets. I think this card just doesn't see as much play because everyone's overhyped on the infinite combo per run and whatever, the Fire Mine. They go infinite. They're just crazy and so good.
Curiosity.
But you can do cool things like this. Give him Death Touch. You just put a Basilisk Collar on him. All of a sudden, he can just ping off anything he wants. Or whenever he wants, just pay 2 mana, draw a card. That's strong too.
Yeah, I like this as sort of like almost a tap-out control deck. I mean, this is a lower power, sure. But is it a lower fun? No. It's going to be sweet. You're going to be smacking people with Niv-Mizzet, drawing cards and controlling the board while not spending cards, and then getting cards back. I like this card. I actually played this as a commander. It was a wizard tribal deck. It was super fun.
I think if you want to have the most fun with the Niv-Mizzet deck, this is the way to go. The other ones, the problem with the other ones, like BZ said, is you're just going to, everyone's going to fear them. The curiosity combo is just too much with those decks.
It takes so much air out of the tire of like how much fun you can have with it. I mean, you had a deck with Perun, and it was like, this would be cool, except I have to murder that on sight or risk losing to curiosity. So that when you lose to curiosity, it's a non-game. And when I kill it on sight every time, it's a non-game for you.
Perun's really lame because the way to build it is put every free counterspell you've ever had.
Yeah.
He can't be countered, so he comes down for sure.
Yep.
You need 1 more mana, you play the curiosity, and you have like 3 counterspell backups. Like, it's completely silly.
You just play like a Taxian Probe or something. And
yeah.
It's really good. But this is the more fun version, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. And the last one we have here, Dragonlord Dromoka. It got exactly 100 decks. 4 green, white for an Elder Dragon 5/7. This spell can't be countered. Flying, lifelink. Your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. Well, this is definitely going to resolve because it can't be countered. This card it's really strong. It's a 5/7 lifelink. It comes down. It's got a big butt. It's tough to answer. And if it comes back to your turn with it, you're getting in a hit with it. I like augmenting its power. Again, you're in white. We talked about this with Lena. White is really good at getting those, using that Stoneforge Mystic and stuff to get out equipment, put it on your big old dragon that's not going to be able to be interacted with during your turn, and just smack it.
Yeah, and your green-white deck is all about, you can play auras, you can play pump spells, anything to get this through. You can try to commander damage people out. You can use it as a shield to try to do other stupid things, make it indestructible. This is like the most Lightning Greaves-y Lightning Greaves card I've ever seen, because there's no tension when you go to equip. They can't do anything. It resolves. Now your commander has Shroud, and you're free to do whatever you want.
Yeah, Lightning Greaves and Swiftfoot Boots really fit well in this deck because, like you said, they can't play spells in your turn, and it's going to resolve. Except for there's like 5, 6, 7 cards that can get it off the stack,
right?
That aren't counters. Other than that, it's gonna resolve, and then you just say, okay, pay for the boots, and guess what? No one gets a chance to respond. Well, actually, they do. They get priority. They can't do anything because they can't cast spells.
Yeah, and the next turn you unequip the boots because you're safe. Put a bunch of crap on Dromoka and then re-equip the boots after.
Yeah.
Super sweet.
Yeah, I think Dromoka, I think the lifelink also makes this card incredibly annoying to play against because it's like, ugh, I want to attack into it, but it's a 5/7, so I'm not going to, but there's no point because even if I send my whole team, he'll just block and probably gain life at the end of this.
I could see this being like a big mana shell too, where you want to play like Mirari's Wake so that when you untap and play Dromoka, you get this crazy boost of mana and you can just go crazy on it.
Yeah, I think Dromoka just, the fact that it doesn't let players play in your turn lets you do some fun things. You can use it to be degenerate and just throw in like tons of combos and be like,
if you want to Armageddon after Dromoka's out, that's pretty good.
Yeah, you can do whatever, you can use it whatever way you want. There's actually a lot of ways to build this. I just think I would go the route of throwing a lot of equipment on it and augmenting its power to make it a big giant dragon with a huge chin.
Try to make it just unstoppable, like give it indestructible and Shroud and then saying, good luck.
Her chin is huge.
It's not a chin, I think it's like a piece of armor. But whenever you look at it, you first think her chin is really large.
I think,
but it's like a face, and they're like scrunched, and it's like this. This isn't her chin. I don't know.
I think it is just her chin. None of the dragons really wear any clothing.
No, Selumgar has a necklace.
Except for Selumgar's necklace. That's the only piece of clothing. And I guess now Dromoka's fake face guard that BZ made up.
I hope it's not the chin. But either way, this card looks awesome.
It is. Okay, so that's our video. Special shout outs to every single one of our patrons. Love you all as much as we can without making you uncomfortable. Very happy that you guys are supporting the channel every day.
Yeah, and we're super stoked to start memberships. I want to get people in there. I want to start talking to people. I would love it if anyone signed up. That'd be amazing. Also, go to the link in the description. TCG Player. Once you buy the cards from the link, we get a kickback on the order, not you. Sorry. You help support us by buying cards you were going to buy anyway.
Yeah, you're going to buy cards. You literally were going to spend the dollars anyway. Everyone buys Magic cards that plays Magic. You have to, or else you can't play Magic, actually. If you don't buy Magic cards, you can never play Magic. That's just a fact.
Well,
you're gonna
Magic Arena.
You have to.
Gotcha.
No.
I'm just preparing you for the comments.
I don't care. I'm done. We're tidbit about our lives. We're getting Central Air tomorrow.
Oh, you stole my chance. I finally had something prepared.
It was my turn. Last time I said, remember I just went, peace out, Tribe Scout. Wasn't that last time?
You ruined it. You squandered your chance at it.
Yeah, well.
So shouldn't it be my turn then?
No, it's my turn.
It was your turn last time.
We're getting Central Air.
It's pretty exciting. I don't like the air conditioners in our place.
The one of the air conditioners we have is like from 1972, and it sounds like that it's going to explode every time we use it, and it constantly blows the fuse.
Yep. Every day. So I have to go down the basement, flip the fuse, go back upstairs, turns off my computer, lose half the progress on what I was editing. Yeah, the lights flicker in the house.
Yeah, it's not the best. It's definitely not the best, and I'm super glad we're getting Central Air starting tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna be thrilled. Sandflies are getting into my room, and I don't know how, but I bet it's because the tape seal on my 1972 air conditioner is not great.
Yeah, some of them probably come in the front door too. We open it at night a lot.
Yeah, we do. But that's our video. Hope you enjoy our talk about Central Air.
Yes. Peace out, Tribe Scout.